Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving into an incredibly fascinating guide on how someone might actually be controlling you without uttering a single word. Look, we've all been in situations where a conversation just felt, a little off, but we couldn't quite put our finger on why. Well, today we're going to unpack the exact mechanics behind that gut feeling.
Picture this. Imagine someone smiling at you on the outside, but actively working against you on the inside. It's kind of chilling, right? Our goal today is to dive deep into the source material to give you the psychological shield you absolutely need to recognize this kind of covert behavior and, more importantly, stop it dead in its tracks before it messes with your peace of mind.
Now, the field of behavior we're talking about today is officially known as dark psychology. And while these are undeniably powerful tricks that manipulative people use to dominate interactions, win arguments, and unfairly read your intentions, we are analyzing them strictly as tools for your own situational awareness and self-defense. Think of it like learning how a lock is picked. You're studying the mechanism so you can build a way stronger lock for yourself.
So, here's how we're going to break this defense manual down. We'll start with the hidden psychological arsenal, then we'll move into mastering weaponized silence, followed by disarming verbal attacks. After that, we'll put on the armor of emotional detachment, and finally, we'll wrap up with the ultimate ethical warning.
All right, let's jump right into phase one, mastering weaponized silence, or what we can call nonverbal warfare.
Get this, the absolute most powerful move you can make in a high-tension scenario requires literally 0 words. It's called the silent pressure technique. When someone attacks you verbally, maybe they're trying to start an argument, throw a nasty insult, or just dominate the conversation, your natural knee-jerk instinct is probably to fight back, right? Well, instead of doing that, go suddenly silent. Just stop and hold firm eye contact for a full 3 to 5 seconds.
Why does this work like magic? Because the human brain fundamentally cannot tolerate silence during a conflict. It's like a short circuit. That sudden, heavy quiet actively plants fear right inside the attacker. Because nature abhors a vacuum, they will instinctively start talking just to fill that empty space. And when they do, they almost always get sloppy, make mistakes, and ultimately reveal what they're actually up to.
Building on that quiet power, we have what's called micro-pause dominance. When you are the one doing the speaking, try adding a deliberate 1-second pause right before you make an important point. By utilizing that brief moment of silence, you completely trick the listener's subconscious into believing you're highly confident, intelligent, and dominant. People automatically start thinking, wow, this person knows exactly what they're talking about.
Moving right along to phase two, disarming verbal attacks, which is basically verbal judo.
So this is where we build from nonverbal silence into an active verbal defense. Think of it as taking your attacker's momentum and using it right against them. We call this the reverse question method. When someone blames you or tries to corner you, do not, I repeat, do not answer their accusations directly. Instead, bounce that aggressive energy right back at them. Simply ask, why do you think that? Or what makes you feel that way? You are essentially forcing them to provide the proof for their own aggressive claims.
And the absolute crucial takeaway here is that by forcing them to explain themselves, you completely strip away the momentum of their attack. As they scramble to justify what they just said, you get to sit back and observe. It helps you figure out really quickly whether they're actually being honest and have a real grievance, or if they are just trying to control you and spin a narrative.
Next up in the verbal judo toolkit is the controlled agreement trap. Now, listen closely to this one, because the source material warns that this is the most dangerous yet potentially the absolute most powerful tool in the entire arsenal.
The tactical breakdown of this trap is actually surprisingly simple. Step 1. When someone is coming at you aggressively, just agree. Say something like, yeah, you have a point. Step 2, watch as their ego completely relaxes. They genuinely think they've won the battle, so their guard totally drops. Then, step 3, smoothly and quietly introduce your own counterpoint. Because you've already satisfied their ego, they won't even fight back. You've successfully slipped your idea in without triggering their defensive reflexes. It's brilliant.
All right, let's shift to phase 3. The armor of emotional detachment, or as it's sometimes called, the inner citadel.
This section is all about your internal environment, because maintaining strict control over your own reactions dictates who actually holds the real power in the room. The emotion detachment rule highlights a truly fascinating psychological contrast. Think about it. The person who gets angry easily, the emotional one, they are inherently weaker and entirely controllable. But the person who remains calm,
They retain all the power. They are detached, powerful, and totally immune to provocation. If you lose your temper, you literally hand over the remote control to your emotions.
So, what do you do when an attacker is actively trying to provoke you? The most powerful thing you can do is simply smile on the inside. Seriously, you don't even need to show it on your face. Internally, that smile just means you know exactly what game they're playing. You know they are desperately trying to take control of you, and by staying emotionally detached, you are actively denying them the one thing they desperately want.
Which brings us to our final stop, Phase 4, the ultimate ethical warning. And guys, this is for self-defense only.
Before we wrap up this explainer, we really have to address a stark warning from the source material. We are looking at these concepts purely through the lens of protection, because these psychological tools, they are absolutely not toys. Deploying these tactics offensively as weapons, rather than defensively as shields, will inevitably lead to disaster. If you misuse them to manipulate the people around you, you will damage your relationships, destroy any fragile trust people have in you, and ultimately, it will leave you completely isolated.
Because the stakes are so high, there are strictly 3 justifiable reasons to understand and possess this kind of arsenal. Number 1, to protect yourself from malicious individuals. Number 2, to gain a much deeper insight into human behavior and how people operate when they're under pressure. And number 3, to ensure you are never ever an easy target for manipulation. You're learning the anatomy of these psychological traps strictly so you never step in one yourself.
True power really does come from learning to read intentions and understanding exactly how the human mind operates. But the ultimate question I want to leave you with today is this. Knowing how easily human psychology can be influenced, will you commit to using this newfound knowledge strictly as a shield in your everyday life? I really hope this explainer has given you the structural awareness you need to protect your peace. Keep those defenses up, stay focused out there, and I'll catch you on the next one.